So basically, when I started Heels and Chair, I just felt like it was the first time that I was in a space full of like-minded people where you're encouraged to be your full self. And that includes the sensual side of yourself. And I just noticed that like in society, a lot of times we're told that if you're too sexual, or if you show too much, or if your clothes are too revealing, or if you move a certain way, or whatever have you, or even just like your body type, it's hypersexualized and you're not taken seriously anymore. And I think that that's just like grotesquely false.
I was once hanging out with my friends, and so like they know that I do pole dance, and they said, "Oh, I'm so jealous of your boyfriend. This must be so sexy. You must be dancing at home all the time." And I'm like, no, you don't know. When I train, it looks like a bear, a clumsy bear is trying to climb a birch and sliding down.
That's how I felt in my first pole
That's
class
how
as well.
I feel.
I relate. But I also feel like what you just said there is like so key of like somebody immediately judging and saying that like, oh, okay, you know, this must be for your boyfriend. This must be an activity you're doing for someone else. They're so lucky. And I feel like there's so many assumptions out there of people saying like, you're doing this, but you're doing this for everybody to watch you. You're not doing this for yourself.
But I think that's like so key, and that was actually something we had talked about too. It's so insidious, this assumption that when you dance in a particular way or any way, and then you share it online or elsewhere, that you're doing it for the viewer.
Yeah.
You know? We have students who have set up like private Instagram accounts because they can't share their dance videos without creeps thinking, oh, she made this for me so I can send her messages now about it. It's where like a partner is worried, like, oh, I don't want people to watch that video, watch you dancing like that, or I don't want, you know, people to make assumptions about you based on the way you dance. And it's like so restricting.
It is.
For women in those classes.
It is.
Like, don't educate me on how someone's going to view it. Talk to the viewer.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and why should it be your problem to deal with all of that stuff? It's like the other people's mentalities that really need to do the work to change those views on it too. So it's fight the good fight. But
Yeah, that's an issue, not an ish me.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Like if my intent was really to like, you know, elicit some kind of attention, it wouldn't be on a platform that like my aunts, my uncles, my cousins are on, you know? And they're all like, you know, they're the first ones to say like, great job, Lauren, you look good. Like dancing looks like so much fun. I need to take a class. You know?
I like how they say that the beauty is in the eyes of the observer.
Yeah.
I feel like inappropriateness is also in the eyes of the observer.
Yeah.
And I feel like this studio has done so much to change my perspective on that, and just all of the values that are instilled at the beginning of each class sets such a good foundation for people to just kind of like sigh and be like, okay, those expectations aren't there. That's not what this is about. And then you can kind of spend the 5 weeks or whatever, the class even, just understanding, okay, well, what do I want this to be then?
I feel like it's the first time that I've been comfortable exploring what sexy or confident feels like for me and for my body.
I would put on the music and just start moving however my body wants to move. I would just like try to flow and not think about how it's gonna look. And then I find that exactly what you want then comes out of it.
Yeah.
Because you're moving naturally to how your body wants to move, right? And it doesn't matter how it looks in the mirror or how it looks from this angle or that angle.
And again, it's like that whole type of, it's like a whole other level of empowerment that you kind of step into. You're no longer relying on the validation of somebody else to tell you you're sexy. And I feel like, right?
That reminds me of like the best compliment we
I
ever
was just gonna
had.
bring that up.
I loved it. Yeah, we had a student who, after a chair class, said, "That's the first time in my life I've ever felt sexy, not in relation to a man."
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Growing up, like it's how you look. What is your picture like? Or how many people are commenting on it? Or do you remember when you were a kid and like people would rate you on like a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Or like
The
or
lists
the hot
would go
and not
around.
list. Yeah, like that shit would happen. That stuff would happen to me all the time. And you know, I was never on the hot list.
I'd always look in the mirror and I would be afraid sometimes to even just let go and try some movement, because before I even do it, I would move a centimeter and I would judge in the mirror how it looks.
Yeah.
And I would like stop myself from even exploring it, because right away I would just look in the mirror and judge it, and feel clumsy and that I look ugly and all of those things.
I feel like girls growing up receive way more praise for being like naturally talented, whereas a lot of boys growing up receive praise for working hard. Like, oh, you ran so fast, you did this thing. Whereas a lot of the praise that girls get, especially in like artistic environments, is, oh, you're such a natural artist. Like, you don't even have to try. You do this so well. And I got resonating. But it trains you to think that like if you make one mistake, like you should be naturally good at everything. So if that first move in the mirror that you didn't look right, it's, I can't make a mistake. I'm supposed to be naturally good at this. You're not trained in the same way to initially think, oh, well, I'll just keep trying this and I'll let myself fail and make those mistakes and do that hard work to improve it. So much of this dance experience has been unlearning that so that I can kind of create those environments for other people.
Because we hear it all the time in class. Like, we'll hear, oh, my hips just don't move like that.
Yeah.
Or I just don't look like you when I do it.
Right.
And it's like, you know, this immediate thought, like, I'm not innately graceful if it doesn't come the first time. And like, even especially with heels too, like first couple classes, I'm like, okay, I'm just not sexy, you know?
I have all that experience dancing in my life, but to this day, I feel like a very clumsy person.
I failed so much in dance, it's not even funny. I was cut from every competitive class, or whatever team. Like, I never made the high school team. Like,
but I feel like it's also so important to like have conversations like this and be vulnerable about that stuff, because never in a million years would I have pegged any of that for you. I was like, oh no, Lauren's, you know, she's got everything down. She's made all the teams. She's done all the things. So many impressions that you get from people or stories that you make up in your head based off of what you expect and, you know, what you expect yourself even to fail at, so that you like project all these things on other people, like, oh, these shining star human beings that I will never live up to. So just hearing stuff like that, it's just, I think, oh, okay, I'm not the only one that's different. We can keep going with this. We can keep trying hard, and I don't know, that was nice.
and it's okay to be on a journey. Then you get to bring that to other people, you know, kind of share your experiences with other people and invite them into that space. And so it's a very vulnerable thing, especially when you're first starting. It's like, it feels like an extension of you that you're just kind of exposing to everyone.
And I think it's Brené Brown. She has a quote where she says, showing up, I can't remember what the exact quote is, but she talks about showing up in the arena. And if you are being vulnerable and taking those steps, you're in the arena. You're playing the game, you're putting yourself out there, and you're risking it all to kind of like potentially get that reward. And she says, I don't take feedback from people who aren't also in the arena.
Yeah.
So I feel like, okay, well, is this person hiding behind a phone saying, this is terrible dancing, or you're doing this all for me, or whatever the comments are?
Yeah.
They need to be in the arena with us and do that education as well.
You're in here dancing too, no? Stay out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know for sure. I think that when you genuinely feel confident enough to step into a space and own that part of you, you step into a new type of power that you didn't even know that you had, because you're now accessing this new side of yourself that you've been trying to suppress for so long. Take a class at the Underdog. It will change your life. You will walk out a different person than you came in.